everybody. Good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for checking in. Hioho mitakiape, Eva Cordovi, Machiape, Malakota, and Taos Pueblo. My Tama is Joseph Conquilla Cordova. My Ina, my cause, Patricia Cordova. I'm sixth generation from Chief Red Cloud. I'm the owner operator of AC and Associates. I'm a mother, grandmother, community member. I'm a sister. I'm an auntie. And I'm also the co-host for the Pukúu Wellness Hour. Thank you for being here today, and thank you for checking in. It's a beautiful day. It's very warm, so I just want to remind everybody to make sure to hydrate, get something to drink, get all of your snacks, check on your elders, and let's just have a good time. I want to go ahead and introduce a special individual, an individual I'm so excited to be here today, the one and the only, boo, 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 Stephanie Barbosa. Yay!
Thank you so much for the love, Avro. It's always a pleasure to be here. Bialina Montoka Stephanie, Newa Chicana. Hello, everyone. My name is Stephanie. For those of you who don't know me, I am the youth organizer for Pukúu Cultural Community Services for our Tuchin Health Leadership Program. So Tuchin means youth in the Serrano language. And so I coordinate our youth program for ages 14 to 24. And I am excited to be here. Thank you so much. Okay. Oh, yeah. Were you muted, Eve? Yeah, you're muted. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm all talking. 2022, 2 years into this, and still here I'm muted. So
No.
let's. What did I just say? Thank you all for being here. So we're gonna go ahead and have a great time. Um, we're gonna talk. We're gonna have some fun. It's not late to register. So thank you for being here. If you haven't registered already, then now is your chance to do that. We have some amazing prizes. We have 9 items that we're going to actually be giving out to you. I hope it's 9. And we're going to do a little bit of an online giveaway. So if you haven't already registered, you can do that now by going to bit.ly. We're going to have it come up on the screen in just a moment. We're going to have some amazing prizes. One which includes a $25 gift card to Amazon. So, and also we're going to have some Pukúu swag. So register, call your aunties, call your uncles, call your sister cousins and your brother cousins, and let them register. I know we have some individuals that haven't received, and we saw that in the chat. So I will personally look into that. It's probably from me. So we'll get that out to you. And if you haven't received it within a week from today, let me know. And we'll make sure that you are taken care of. So we're going to go ahead and just say again, thank you for being here. Thank you for your love. And it's a great day. Today is April 6th, 2022. And the Pukúu Wellness Hour would like to welcome you back for today's live. It's a live event, so anything can happen, like me not unmuting myself or the internet going out. Anything wild and crazy can happen. So just stick around and help us get through this. It's like life, you know, things happen and we have to pray. We have to be in good spirit and good space, and just really have good energy. And I have good energy and I feel good about today. I smudged. I told Steph that I was going to smudge because I was, you know, we've been doing this for 2 years already, and I feel nervous today, but it's a happy nervous. And I'm really excited that you guys can be here with us. So we are happy to have you back if you've been here before. We want to have some good fun, some great information, and some amazing free giveaways. So if you've registered for this event, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let us know where you're checking in from. I am streaming here from Tongva territory. So let us know where you're checking in the chat. We'll go ahead and say hello to a couple of people. Steph, you have anything you wanna say hello to anybody?
Yeah. Well, first I want to say hello to everyone watching us. Also to everyone who's watching us. Gonna be watching us later. Since this is being recorded. Even though it is a live event. Um, Also, I see Cheryl Martin in the chat. Shout out to her. She's a big supporter of Pukúu, so we love her very much. And to we see Renee, Terry Rios. Thank you all so much for being here. And yeah, I was just sharing with April too. I feel like for a while I was doing the Pukúu Wellness Hour, and then it was kind of like a break. So it's my first one in a bit, but I'm very excited to be here again and um, have a conversation with you all and really get into what we're going to be talking about.
Yeah. We started this in 2019 with a census grant that Pukúu had. And we were on a planning meeting the other day. And one of the things that Stephanie let me know is that she had some information which you'll see later as well, from the census. And with us using our voices and us being in the know of what's happening around us and with government and all of those things, we can make change. Our voices can make change. And I think it's very important that I was really happy that the numbers from 2022 um, to 2010 to 2020 have went up. Um, they have went up, but we know that there are still so many individuals that haven't or didn't fill out the census for whatever reason. But we know that everybody in the Los Angeles area or Los Angeles County hasn't been counted as a Native American or indigenous population. So we're here today to hear your voice and make sure that you know what's going on in a planning stage of the county's initiative. So bringing the show actually also comes with collaboration, working together with different people. It's not just individuals in front of the screen, as we always say. I want to say a shout out to our moderators on the back end and everybody that's helped to put this together, from Paul from powwows.com to our amazing moderators, B and Evelyn. They're so amazing. And there's just a lot that goes into this. So we definitely want to say thank you for everybody. That includes you as well. You guys come back and have made this successful. Like um, what am I trying to say? We had a grant for a year and a half, and then we didn't and then the grant's over. So once the grant is over, you go along your merry way. There's no more funding, and then we had all this great information, and you're bringing us back with all that great information because it's your voice and you checking in and wanting to hear this and be more involved. We're still here. So thank you. Your community, your voice really does make a difference. So there are still some individuals checking in. I know that the amazing who we had on last month, Robin Thundershield, checking in from Los Angeles or Tongva territory. Um, Thank you for checking in, Robin. Thank you for all the great work that you do. We also have Joanna Ferguson that's showing some love, and she's also checking in from Tongva land, saying hello. Hi, Joanne. It's so great to see you and have you here. Dawn as well. Thank you for being here and checking in as well. Um, so again, collaboration happens, and Steph's gonna talk a little bit about that right now.
Yeah, so today's Pukúu Wellness Hour, you know, is going to be talking about, and we're going to get more in depth into it, into initiative that LA County is going into, and we're going to go deeper into it. And it was made, so the Pukúu Wellness Hour, this one was made possible by the generous support of the California Endowment, that is in partnership with the Anti-Racism, Diversity, and Inclusion Initiative, which is what we will be talking about today, and why it's important for us as Native American and Indigenous people to know about this issue. Um, but we will be going into this, like I said, later in the Wellness Hour. I think right now I will pass it over to one of our moderators who is going to talk about our services.
Thank you. I think we'll go ahead and have our moderators come on, and she's gonna just tell you a little bit about um, some things. So, moderator,
Hello?
yes.
Okay. So before we get into talk about Pukúu Cultural Community Services, I do want to go back a little bit and again recognize the lands that we're on. So Pukúu Cultural Community Services recognizes and acknowledges the first people of this ancestral and unceded territory of Pasinga that is now occupied by the residents of San Fernando. And we honor their elders, past and present, and their descendants who are now citizens of the Fernandino Tatavian Band of Mission Indians. We recognize that the tribe is still here, and we are committed to lifting up their stories, culture, and community. So a little bit more about Pukúu Cultural Community Services. So we are a Native nonprofit founded in 1971 by the Fernandino Tatavian Band of Mission Indians to invest in sustainable programs that bridge and improve opportunities for American Indians with culturally based community services now and for future generations, a role that Pukúu has been able to fulfill successfully ever since. For example, Pukúu provides services for families in need, elders, new or expecting mothers, and our communities members with disabilities with different items like, for example, food, water, diapers, wipes, and other social support resources. This is thanks both to county resources as well as donations from our community that has allowed us to be a source of support and connection to the American Indian community and surrounding neighbors. Our programs include OSIS, which is the One Stop Emergency Service Program, to provide support to families and individuals in need of rent, utility, food, clothing, and transportation resources. Hare Makna American Indian Cultural Center in the San Gabriel Mountains. We offer cultural programming, including our Pukúu Wellness Hour that provides COVID-19 education and various wellness topics for the community. Pukúu supports jobs for elders and visibility for American Indians of Los Angeles County to help educate and inform about the needs of our community. In partnership with the City of San Fernando and the Fernandino Tatavian Band of Mission Indians, we recognize the need to invest in our youth with the Tuchin Youth Empowerment Program. So again, just like Stephanie had mentioned, youth Tuchin means youth in the Serrano language. So the community-led diversion program has three goals: to increase cultural competency by providing cultural programming, to reduce incarceration and recidivism via case management support, improve academic success throughout tutoring services. Tuchin Youth Empowerment Program aims to create social justice leaders by reclaiming our Indigenous knowledge and focusing on the holistic approach to well-being. Pukúu youth programs also include the Youth Leadership for Health. So this new program will engage youth in social justice advocacy surrounding a community health issue using an indigenous and holistic approach. Youth leaders will learn transformative youth organizing skills rooted in growth, healing, and personal transformation. We have scholarships available to students pursuing higher education, so please visit our websites to access the application and also to learn more about any of our services. If you or someone you need or you know needs assistance, especially emergency services, please feel free to call us at 818-336-6105. You can also contact us at 818-639-3932. We service all of Los Angeles County and self identified natives. Stay updated with Pukúu on our social media accounts via Facebook and Instagram, or email us at admin@pukúu.org. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Evelyn. I appreciate you for sharing about Pukúu services. You did that so amazingly. Um, yeah, so thank you. I appreciate it. And shout
They
out
do.
to the moderator.
Yay, shout out to our moderators. They do so much in the background, and Pukúu does so much, as you just heard. So thank you. And if there are services that you need, please check in with them. The phone number was provided. Thank you all to those that have registered. We're going to do, again, like I said, some online giveaways. So if you've registered within the last 3 minutes, your name is going on the wheel that we're going to go ahead and do in just a moment. One of the other, so we open our show three ways. We open it with land acknowledgement and information on collaboration. We offer it with free online giveaway back to you because you're investing in us, and we do it with prayer. So we're going to go ahead and give something away right now. We're going to go ahead and have an online giveaway. So again, like I said, if you have registered, your name is on the wheel. And what is it that we're going to be giving away, Stephanie? I know we have a couple of things like the Amazon gift cards and the swag. So what one of the items do you want to give away?
I believe the first one that we're going to be giving it away today is going to be an Amazon gift card. So $25 Amazon gift card. Then the second prize is going to be Pukúu swag, and third Amazon gift card again. And I think that's kind of the order that we're going to do. We have 10 giveaways total, 5 of each. So like April said, if in the last 3 minutes you registered, you're in the wheel. But if not, don't feel bad. You still have time to register via the link. But thank you so much for pulling up the first wheel. And we're going to do the first winners.
Yay! So here we go with our first winner and your Amazon gift card. Don't forget to use Amazon Smiles because that donation goes back, a little bit of that goes back to Pukúu, which brings you the show. So let's choose our first winner. Here we go.
Go ahead.
Fallen Star Padilla. Yay!
Congratulations. You are a winner of a $25 Amazon gift card. And we will email you. And so, disclaimer, you will probably get this gift card by April 19th. So that is when we are planning on it. I know it's a couple weeks, but congratulations. And we'll make sure to give it to you. And we'll be reaching out via email to all the winners.
Yay! Thank you. Here comes our next winner.
Yes. Joshua Corona, congratulations. Winner of a Pukúu swag bag.
Boo, boo, boo. All right. We're going to go ahead and shuffle this up, and we're going to go ahead and give away our next item. Here we go. Yay!
Congratulations. Woo! Cheryl Martin, winner of a $25 Amazon gift card.
Awesome, Cheryl. Thank you so much for always supporting us. You've been like ride or die from the beginning, OG. And she's also a tribal member for Tatavian Band of Mission Indians. So thank you so much. It always is great to give back, and especially to individuals that are watching on local lands. Thank you.
Yes.
Yay. Are we doing one more, or are we just doing the three?
I think I'm not sure how it's been broken up.
How about you do an executive decision and you say yes or no for one more?
I mean, yes, okay. This first one, let's do one more, and then the rest, I believe it will be 3 and 3. Yes. Okay. There we go. 4 and then 3 and 3, 6. All right. So we got one more, which I believe will be a Pukúu swag bag. So let's go.
Awesome.
One more winner in this round.
Awesome. Here we go.
Spinning. Dolores Marino.
Yay, Dolores. Boo, boo, boo.
Congratulations. Yeah, so like I mentioned before, for those who want a Pukúu swag bag, please expect an email from Pukúu to confirm your mailing address and some other additional information. So congratulations to all the winner, and we'll have 2 more rounds in throughout the Pukúu Wellness Hours. So if you haven't signed up, you haven't had a chance, or you're just logging in, just tuning in right now, please make sure to sign up with the link that's below right there. They're showing it.
Right. Thank you. Also, so the third way that we open is with prayer. So we're going to go ahead and do that today. I am going to go ahead and smudge some California white sage that I harvested a while ago. So we're going to go ahead and light this California white sage. Mother Earth always is taking care of us, from water to medicines to different things that traditionally we've used for many years, for thousands and thousands of years. So today I lit this piece of little, so I'm just going to explain this a little bit to you. So I went harvesting for California white sage and I wrapped them, and then the parts that fall off, I don't ever get rid of them, because you can use this small little piece off this little branch and use it, so you don't need like a big old bundle. So I'm going to go ahead and light it again because it went out, because I talked too much. So it said, I'm going to do it when you're ready, Avril. So I lit it, and then I let it go, and then the smoke comes, and smoke usually goes up, right? So it's going up to Creator. So it's taking our positive words, our prayers. It takes all of those beautiful blessings up to Creator. So we're going to go ahead and take a moment to just say a brief prayer. Creator, we come to you today with open hearts and open minds, thankful for the many blessings that you provide us on a minute, monthly, second basis, from the ability to walk, talk, be here today, to laugh, to be engaged, to use our voices to make change, to just be in a healing space, a funny place, and a place that allows us to feel connected. I pray that you watch over the individuals that are here today virtually, that are watching now in the live, and that will watch again in the replay. May you continue to keep them healthy, wealthy, and safe. May you continue to keep them strong, continue to keep them feeling love, lift up their spirits if there's anything that they're going through. Let them know that they are the dreams of their ancestors. They are the prayers of their ancestors, and they can do anything. And if they're supported, they have a community that supports them. There's so many services that are around them. Continue to keep them in your light, in your heart, and in your blessings. Ta'a pila maya gracias. Ajonas le, ajonas le, ajonas le, ajonas le. Amen. Gracias. Thank you for allowing me to do that.
Thank you so much, April, for always leading us in a beautiful prayer, and always providing that for us. That's, I would say, like you said, we have the 3 main ways that we open up the show in the good way, but I would say that's my favorite.
Aw,
We
thanks.
definitely always appreciate that. So I think now we are gonna get ready into, now that we've opened up the show, we're gonna start getting into our community conversation that we're gonna have. So I'm gonna ask our moderator if they can please pull up the slides.
So again, remember that it's important to use our voices to make change. How do you get involved? A lot of people ask, how can we give back to our community? How can we be involved? And one of those ways is today. There's a lot going around us, and there's a lot of planning and sessions that are happening. And today, me and staff are going to have a conversation, and we hope that in the chat or even at the community forum that's going to be coming up next in April in a couple of weeks, that you can attend, because it's with your voice, it's with your thoughts, and it's with your intentions that we keep our um, board, our government accountable. Sometimes we have people that say, well, the government never listens. This is your time to let them know what you feel is important. We were, again, having a planning session a couple of days ago, and it was shared with me the PowerPoint, and I was overwhelmed, but we want to hear it from your perspective. So that's what the forum's going to be about. We want to see how this can be in talks in a community way, because these services are provided to you, and how is somebody going to know what you want if you don't let them know, whether it be just um, tribally involved, community driven, and a community voice. Thank you.
No, yes. I was gonna say thank you so much, April, for sharing like a bit about what went on in our planning session. I think um, definitely when it comes to things that our local governments are doing, the county, even the state, I think it's often really like difficult to see like how we can get involved and how change can really be made. So I thought it definitely was important to share this with the entire community, especially with our youth, elders, and anyone who's lived in in the city of LA and have had like an experience being a native and indigenous person here in Los Angeles County. I wanted to share about the Anti-Racism, Diversity, and Inclusion Initiative, which we were talking about, April and I. Sounds like a lot when you first talk about it, so we're definitely going to be breaking it down. And really letting everyone know how you can get involved. And this is really honestly um, like an introduction into what is going on in the county with in regards to this initiative. And hopefully our session on Wednesday, April 19th, no, sorry, Tuesday, April 19th, that's going to be a more in-depth session. Will actually focus on providing feedback. So these sessions, thank you to everyone who registered. I know you were asked some questions in the registration form, and that also is going to help us gauge on how our communities feel about the issues that LA County is trying to address. So I think we can go to the next slide now.
And
And
also, let me just say that it gives individuals a chance to not be scared and not necessarily know what they're coming into when they come to the community session. So just like a lot of people, we need time to process stuff. What that means is we need time to take in and use our wheels in our head to have a good response. I know as an Indigenous people, we're storytellers. We take time to talk. Like, I can be telling this huge old story and get lost in what I'm saying, and my close friends, I'll be like, what was the point of the story? And then they come back, but it's because we take the time to really like process things. And you need to take, for me, it's a lot of like, I have to take it slow, understand, and then I can repeat what I feel is important to this conversation. And I just want to say that all of your feedback is important to us, and we welcome anybody to come to this forum that's going to happen on April 19th. So, yes, the end.
thank you, April. And yeah, so just to expand on the forum and also for today, I think for today we're really having just an open-minded and honest conversation in regards to what's happening. I know right now we're in the live streaming, so we're not able to really have a conversation. It's more like I said, an informative session. So when y'all come to the one on April 19th, you kind of know what's happening, or you just take this information back to your own communities, your own organizations, and see how you can get involved and be able to provide feedback. Because I do think it's really important to have our input in here. So right now I'm going to share the current land acknowledgement that the LA County put for this presentation. This isn't their official land acknowledgement, and I don't know if they have one, but for this presentation, they're recognizing the first people of this ancestral unceded territory, the land that is Los Angeles County, and they respect their elders, past and present, and they recognize the Tongva, Tatawiam, Chumash, Quiche, and Serrano as the original stewards of this land and continue to lift up their stories and culture. So that is the land acknowledgement that the county had for us, and so even in I think this is like a good pointer and conversation starter into whether we like this land acknowledgement or not, or whether the county actually has one, whether we want to implement one, and why it's important for the indigenous community and the LA Native community to have a say in like these things. And yeah, so and then also thank you to our moderator who also did the land acknowledgement. I think we can move on. So we're gonna start with talking about like we explained the first initial thoughts when looking at this initiative. They have a lot of like big terms, so we wanted to include these slides to show everybody like what the county's definition is of equity, anti-racism, and inclusion, because I think it's also important to point out that we might have our own perspectives in our own definitions of what diversity and inclusion is. So um, yeah, these right here, these pictures are kind of like some pictographs that show the differences and how they see inequality, equality, justice, and equity. So this department is really focusing on equity, which, if y'all see there, is custom tools that identify and address inequality. So this is currently the LA County's definition um, of what equity is. So I don't know, April, do you have a different definition, or what do you think when you see these
Um, when I
images?
when I see the images, the first thing that I see is the tree. For me, it's a part of Mother Nature, right? And it's not just a tree. And to me, the tree has roots, which allows it to grow. It also has its bark and the fruit on it. But in the picture, I know each box is different. It tells you a little bit about what inequality is, equality is. I wanted to also, I mean, these are my hopes, if there is a hope, um, that it's a working template. So once we come to the community, I'm seeing inequality, equality, and justice. You're seeing all of those four pictures, and you're seeing, how these two individuals are at the bottom, and one's getting the fruit, and one's not getting the fruit. And then in the next one, you see the ladders to each of them trying to get one. But what I'm not seeing, I'm sorry, on the justice one too, you're seeing, those sticks on the floor, maybe to help the tree or to hold it. But what I'm not seeing as well is, what about those people that can't step on a ladder? What about a person that's in a wheelchair? What about a person that is older and, we don't want them on the ladder? So personally, I think that also, like on the justice one or just on the bottom, it should also show something for um, the the disabled, because this is one of the things that we're talking about and looking at. That's my feedback.
Thank you so much, April. Yeah, and it's so I'm very thankful to have you here to be able to provide we'll have this conversation with me, and also, give some live feedback. You've been a longtime member of the LA Native community, the Indigenous community, and all of you out there who have been longtime members of this community. That's why I think it's very important for all of you to use your voice and really share your different ideas of these definitions. I think also pointing out that we've learned that a lot of these, like you said, they didn't include differently abled people, disabled people, elders, maybe people who can't use a louder. And I think those are a lot of things, issues that became more visible with COVID-19 too. So I think it's like looking at even having more support systems and more access across the board. So I think I'm going to show also now the definitions of what they had as anti-racist. I don't know if you wanted to say something, April.
I did. I actually just wanted to say, what did I want to say? See, I forget things right away, but it'll come back to me. So let's just keep going, and then I'll come back to it. It'll pop in my head.
Okay. Thank you so much, April. Sorry. We're here in the virtual world. We're live, so we're not coordinating. We're in the same county, but we're not in the same area. But that's why it's always a live show.
Yeah.
So these are these are the definitions that the LA County has identified as racial equity and anti-racism. So these are very big definitions, and I feel like it's a lot of text on this slide. And these slides were provided by the county. I think the one in the middle is the most brief one. But basically, racial equity would be a reality in which a person is no more or less likely to experience society's benefits or burdens just because of the color of their skin. So that is kind of what the county is defining it as. Um, Basically, having more equal access to resources, I would say, and not having those biases, those stereotypes in our communities that often don't let our communities thrive when it comes to accessing resources, whether it's like jobs or scholarships and things like that. And like personally, a way that I like to describe anti-racism is there's not being racist, so that's just kind of like you're not racist, right? You don't agree with that. And what people describe anti-racism as being is actively being against racism. So they kind of make this emphasis on actively being against racism and reflecting that in their policies. And I think again, it's important for our community, our especially the Native community in LA, to give their input, because all of our communities, um, Black, Indigenous communities of color, have experienced, I would say, racism at one point. But I think the experience is still very different for each community, although they do share a lot of similarities. But that's why it's important for each community to share what their experience with what their experience with racism is. And also, I would say, like, it's an intergenerational issue too. A lot of our elders, our community relatives, they faced a lot of racism growing up that now today, maybe in today's society, they would say it's not as prevalent, but there's different forms of it. So I think those are kind of like the conversations that come up for me. I don't know, April, if you wanted to add anything.
I do want to add something because I remembered what I forgot is also, if you've lived in Los Angeles and you've moved out, like you've been here for like many years, like 20 years ago, 40 years ago, that's the voice that we need as well. You've been to LA, Los Angeles, in the United States. You've lived here as a indigenous or native person, and then you might have went back home, to your own area or whatever res that you came from, or you might have moved. We'd also like to hear from you as well. Racism and racial equality, anti-racism. This is a heavy topic, and I know that people might be angry or mad, but this is what we are here to talk about, to also during the community forum get your feedback. So I do like what you said, and I do agree with what you said. So you can see it all on the screen. um, I think it's an important topic, but it's also a lot. So breaking it down is what we're here to do in the simplest ways. um, so that's what I have to say.
Thank you. Well, yeah. So I didn't want to read all of it on the slide because I think it's overwhelming. But like April said, I think it's important to like break it down, so that way we would be able to explain it with kind of anybody.
Hmm.
So I think now we're ready to move on into the next session, and then the next slide after that, which briefly explains what the Anti-Racist Diversity and Inclusion Initiative is. So basically, it was created as a result of a motion by the LA County Board of Supervisors. So they all voted yes to adopt an anti-racist policy agenda, and this was in July 2020. So if we think back to July 2020, that was in the middle of the pandemic. That's when a lot of protesting was happening, a lot of social justice issues. So this was the county's response to basically ensure that our LA County's policies were being actively anti-racist. So, like I've been mentioning, our youth are going to lead a discussion centering, community wellness, and also introducing and what that means, and sharing feedback to the countywide racial equity strategic plan. And this forum is an opportunity to kind of learn about this and introduce all of this initiative to you, and hopefully provide much needed feedback to the strategic plan. Um, so something that um, I wanted to share was that when we look into it, is that basically this initiative was started um, because of there was a giant call for it. There was a giant cost for it. So they wanted to go ahead and do. The county was very pressured into doing something that would actively say that they were um, addressing racism and inequality.
I think it's important to say, as well as what I heard you say, is there was rallies, and people took a stand, and this is the result of those rallies. This is the result of you using your voice in the streets to let the county know that there is racism, there is things that are happening in our community, and things need to be done about it. So this is the county's write up of that. But we also, like Steph had said, is we want a community voice. And is this easy for you to read? It might be a lot of big words. When I first saw this, I was like taken back, because I come from always a community perspective. I was telling them that I may not have like all of these big words. They're not my everyday repertoire, they're not my everyday conversation. So I want to be able to look at it and definitely easy define what it says, or easily understand it, so that way when I use my voice, I can really say, well, there's no tribal, or do you have a tribal connection, whether they do or they don't. There's a lot of different departments in the county, so one organization might not know about another organization that works with a indigenous or a native organization, but we also have local tribes too. So the Fernandino Tatavian Band of Mission Indians is a tribe in the LA County, if you didn't know, and is the county working with them? Do they know about them? Do they know that there's cultural classes going on? Do they know all of these things? And if they don't know, we need to tell them as a community. I prevention is healing. Healing is prevention. So being able to use our tribal ways to heal and to pass on things, is that in this, so that's what, again, what we're going through, and that's what I would like to say. Thank you. The end.
Thank you, April. So this right here, like I think the point that you brought up, is like, do they know what's happening? Um, do they know about our local tribes? So I know they mentioned them in the land acknowledgement. But do they have a formal relationship? Like you said, a lot of all our communities are very relationship and community oriented. So it's important to establish that beforehand. So these are the functions of the RD unit, which again stands for Anti-Racism, Diversity, and Inclusion Unit, but we call it RD for short. So this is basically showing an overview of what they do, what they're responsible for. So they're responsible for building on previous efforts. So this is kind of showing what they're responsible for, and it lets us, the community, know what they are required to do. And if they are not meeting these requirements, is where we can provide feedback and also use our voices to tell them, like April was mentioning, their one of their main requirements is to build upon previous efforts. So I know that there are already a lot of native Oris in our county that are doing a lot of the hard work that the county is trying to address as well. So make giving, they have the duty to reach out to these organizations and partner with them and provide them with funding to be able to provide those services. I think it's important to remember, like, we don't always have to reinvent the wheel, but also like bring in our partners and people who already have been doing that work and are experts, so they can be a part of this, initiative too. And like I was mentioning before, we can see that the RD initiative was started as a result of cause and effect. So it was the racial violence, that was happening, but also the good, protesting and advocating that finally made the county want to adopt an anti-racist stance, which I explained is being actively against racism versus just not being racist. Um, so this, but although like this is a good chance for us to show our voice, it also shows that the county is thinking in a very cause and effect way, which is what people call a linear worldview. Um, and that's opposite to the way that a lot of our Native and Indigenous communities look at issues. So, like I was saying, the looking at it this way really puts kind of like the duty on our communities to do the research and do the work, when it really, I do believe it is on the county, right, to provide these services, do the work, do the research. So that's already one big, criticism that I believe it shows that it needs more representation from our Native communities and their lived experiences.
I like that you, when we were talking earlier, that you mentioned that, the county is expecting our communities to do all the work when they also should be doing it, or having a relationship, and not just seeking for when they need something. Definitely having that a you know a stable and trusting relationship. There's a lot of different areas that we're going to be going into, as you can see on the screen: training and capacity building, all of these things that we're going to be going section by section. So there's still some information that we're going to be going in. But thank you, Steph, for explaining that.
Yes, thank you. I think it's kind of important to, I know that part was a little long, but it's kind of our introduction, our basis to what this actually is. So now we're going to go into explaining what the actual strategic plan is, and I'm going to try to go over this kind of quick so then we can get into more talking about the 5 main issues. Um, so if we can go to the next slide, yes, this countywide, the another one before, please. Sorry. Yeah, this one. Thank you. Shout out to our moderator again. So this countywide racial equity plan shares what the county wants to do. So basically, it's sharing what the things that it's going to do to address these issues, what they believe is going. It's basically like the possible solutions, and then the life course outcomes are basically the 5 main issues LA County wants to address. And so by implementing these possible solutions or strategies, we'll be able to address the issue or the life course outcome. So that's kind of what they're calling it. But so the strategic plan is going to be the specific ways in which they're going to go about this. Okay, so we can move on to the next one. I'll go over the next two really quickly. So there's here's an overview there's of the people and organizations that are involved in the plan's development. So this basically shows how the LA County is getting input from different communities. So they have representatives from 29 departments. They have a community input advisory board, and they also have community stakeholders. Okay. You can go on to the next slide where it shows all the county departments. So there's 29 departments on LA County. As you can see, they're all responsible for different things in our community. So I also thought it was cool for everyone to kind of see this because personally, I didn't know there was 29 departments in LA County. So it shows basically all the different components that go into our county and our services and all of that stuff. So I think it's important to kind of see this and it puts into perspective the people who are involved in this. So since it's a whole entire policy kind of draft, it's going to include all the departments. And then in the next slide, it shows who is a part of the Community Input Advisory Board. So these are people who are part of that board. And so shout out to Dr. Shannon Speed at UCLA American Indian Studies Center. So it's cool to know that we do have someone from the Native community or who is, helping bring our voice to this community advisory board. But as I'll show later in the slides, where our population is pretty big, the Native Indigenous population in LA is really big compared to many other places, the largest population in an urban area. So I think we should have even more representation on this advisory board. So again, this shows like if you want to be a leader for your community, this might be an opportunity that you could go into. And then, okay. Yes, so this shows how the initiative has, well, first I want to give it to April. Do you have any questions or do you want to add anything so far? I know I was just trying to go through it kind of quick.
Yeah. Thank you for that. It's amazing to see all of those departments for LA County, which I know LA County is big, and I'm wondering that if in each of those departments, such as the library, I know there's a specific library in Bell Gardens that's only not caters, but has information around Native authors or books, or they even have the Dawes roll, which is the roll that shows everybody that back in the day, when they were doing that, shows who was on the list as an Indian. But I'm surprised that there are so many, and it's just my inquiry if in each of those departments they do know about Native population, and if each one of those departments also um, recognizes the lands um, that they're doing business on, or that they're centered on, and is that information posted anywhere. I do appreciate that land acknowledgement is the first part in this PowerPoint, but it's not only a land acknowledgement that needs to be done, it's what we're doing today. You know, having a community discussion, it being led by community and having a community voice. So that's what I would like to share. And it also is really great that Shannon is listed or is a part of this as a native um, as a native individual.
Yes. And yeah, I think it is, that brings up so many questions too for me when I first saw those slides is, oh wow, there's so many departments, and what are all of those departments doing um to help, their departments and their resources be more accessible to Native and Indigenous communities. So on this side right here, it's going more deeper into how they were engaging the community. So they hosted 5 community sessions previously to get feedback on strategies. Um, and so they also collaborated with the Youth Commission to have a youth centered feedback session. Some of y'all may have, heard of this event or gotten invited to this event. I attended as a youth organizer for the Youth Health Leadership Program and also sent it to all the youth. So I did, it was definitely kind of like interactive. We had a board where we could provide suggestions. And I automatically, my first question that I did ask was if they started having a relationship with the local tribes. I didn't get like a concrete answer. They said that they were working with the Native American Commission for LA County. So that's good to hear that they're starting that relationship. And I definitely made the suggestion that it's also important to make the relationship with the 3 tribes in LA County, which are the Tongva, the Tatabiam, and the Shumash. So um, that's how that went. And then also, so they're having these community engagement sessions like today, the one we're having right now with the Pukúu Wellness Hour, of basically letting folks know in the community about this initiative, what's going on, how they can provide feedback, how they can expand it to their networks, how their community networks can get involved. So we're basically in that stage right now. But even after today's session, even after the session on April 19th, there's going to be more sessions that are going to be put on directly by the Anti-Racist Diversity and Inclusion Initiative, the RD department. So they're going to host an additional 5 more sessions to collect feedback um, on the plan. And so if we move on to the next slide, we see all the CBO partners. So CBO, I always thought this was a cool when I learned this one, are community-based organizations. So yes, so basically our orgs that are in our community that have been invited to be a part of this project. So we see Pukúu is there. We also see our relatives over there at UAII are in there, so they have been invited. But there are other amazing organizations in LA County, California Native Road Project, shout out to them, who aren't on this list, and probably a bunch other more that they didn't reach out to. So that just shows how there's a space for our organizations and our community to get involved and be able to spread awareness about this and also use their voice as community orgs, because I think it's definitely our community orgs that hold a lot of the knowledge, and they're the ones usually providing support services. So I think it's always great to invite them to the conversation.
And they have a very good, by providing services to the community, that they have a community voice as well, where they can provide just the information that we're asking, like, is this what our community really needs or wants, or and I just keep going back to, like, how do we make change? We make change by using our voice, by being involved. A lot of I grew up, like you said, in this community, and I want to make change. How do I make that change for my grandchildren? How do I make change for making a better place for when I'm not here, that it can be, traditional, or people know about our tribal nations, or our, things, services, and community voice that's here. That's it then.
Thank you, April. I think, yeah, I like what you said. That part is very true, that we built those relationships. And I'm thankful to have, being part of Pukúu, been able to build relationships. So this slide, the county didn't put in. I made the slide because I wanted to share these statistics about, the American Indian Alaska Native population here in California, and more specifically LA County, because I think these statistics kind of show in a numbers kind of way. I think a lot of times we already know how important it is, for ourselves, because we feel called to represent our community to make a change. But sharing these statistics just kind of puts it into numbers. Really, the power that we have, as an Indigenous and Native community here in LA County, and why it's important for us to use, that power and be involved in these spaces and conversations. Even though a lot of times I do think that, um, like Ava and I shared, it's kind of like can cause some anxiety, like some nervousness, talking about, all these issues, a lot of these big kind of like hypothetical things. But it's important for us to be in these spaces and be able to provide our knowledge and our input. Um, and these statistics show how essential it is to center our voices and community concerns and suggestions. And like April mentioned earlier, that Pukúu kind of started, um, with a grant to increase like awareness about the census. So the 2020 census. So these are actually results from the 2020 census, um, and it showed that, in California there was, so they differentiate, from folks that identify as American Indian, Native, just Native, or in combination, so meaning they're mixed, they're Native and something else. So that was a total of 3.6%, which is like 1.4 million people, I would say. Yeah, so that's really big. And then so the total population for just folks who identify, as only American Indian Native, was about 630,000, over 630,000, which is one of the biggest, I would say, which is one of the biggest populations, in LA County. So, right there, it shows the, statistics for LA County. So it's home to the largest, population of folks who, like I said, identify as Native, or Native and, identify with another race. So it's around, 327,000 people, 163,000 people for folks who, identify as only Native or American Indian. And so another statistic that I included, just to put, as we'll see, the five main issues that they're trying to address does have to do with, a lot with like financial wellness and poverty. So the American Indian Alaska Native, population in California, does unfortunately have a higher, the national rate for poverty, like, so the rate in California is higher than it is at the national average. So in California it's 34, national average is 25. So I think that again just shows, like, if our communities are being more affected by poverty in LA County or in California, there's even a bigger need for our communities to advocate for more resources that help address these issues and help, alleviate these issues. And yeah, I'll pass it over to April, to share whatever she would like to share.
Thank you. I think that our voices make a difference. Like I said, when we started this, we started with a census grant, and the numbers, have increased from, 2010 to 2022. And that's because you're using your voice and letting the government know what's going on. So I know that there's some other slides that we need to go through. Thank you, though, Steph, for including these. These are very important numbers. So how can we raise? We know that LA County has the largest, and these numbers probably don't even affect that. I mean, they affect it, but they're not. There are so many more that didn't do the census that it can be higher.
Okay, so I think we're so the county is looking to I address these 5 life course outcomes. So these life course outcomes are basically like 5 main issues, problems that the county wants to address. So the county believes that addressing these issues will lead to better health and well-being in our communities. And they also believe that these 5 main issues affect the largest number of people, and it has the largest racial gaps and the most, and that addressing these 5 main issues will be the most sustainable. So the next slide shows what these 5 main issues are. And so the 5 main issues that they are looking to address is to the first one, decrease infant mortality. So for those who are not familiar with that term, this basically means helping babies and their families reach their first year of life together. So it's supporting families to be able to, have their babies healthily reach the age of 1 and continue to have a happy, healthy life. To reduce family poverty, so that's the one kind of dealing with financial wellness, and how they can increase that for communities. And so the next one, the third one, is to increase to um, education and training opportunities that lead to good jobs.
And there are two more on the bottom: increase adults with stable full-time employment and decrease adult first-time felony convictions.
So these slides will skip to continue to skip, just because we are running some time. But again, this was just kind of an introduction into what's happening. Um, the this slide right here is kind of our next step is, so since today was an introduction to RD, I want to focus on this first question. So I invite you all to attend our youth-led community feedback conversation on April 19th, where we're going to be having a more in-depth conversation on the changes we want to see in the strategic plan. So you saw that we kind of skipped through the slides, but there's actual strategies that the county has. So they have certain strategies, so possible ways to fix this issue that they have listed. And so at their next session, we're going to be going more depth into each of those strategies and see, like, are these really helpful for our communities? Do our communities have other things that they need that the county shouldn't be focusing on, and they should use their resources more in these other areas? And so I think moving on to the next slide, um, I wanted to just, the county wanted us to share, what we have for one hope, one concern, and one question. So Abra, I don't know if you really briefly, I don't know. I know it was a lot of conversation, but if you want to share all three, or maybe just one hope, one concern, or one question that you had regarding this.
My one hope is definitely that the county really listens to the community that will be coming out and following through with what it is our voices are saying. It's important not only just to listen to community, but follow through with action and those changes that the community are wanting, especially if you're asking for the community's voice. I think that's just common to me. Like, we ask you to register for this event, looking at, asking what things you want to see, and we try to make that happen. So I would hope that the county does that as well. That's my one hope.
Yeah. Thank you. I think that is one concern that I have, and I share as well, is that we want to make sure that the county does listen. Um, and one hope is that I have is that something maybe that's a result of this feedback, this community forum, or especially our next community feedback session, that I'll see one of those suggestions reflected in the strategic plan. That's one of my big hopes, is that we should see a lot of our feedback reflected, but I would love to see even just something in there that I'm like, oh wow, we brought that point up and we made that happen.
And I would
So I
hope, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead, April. Yeah.
I just want to say I would want to hear what happens from the community voice. So hoping that Steph, you'll come back and share what the community has to say. And just like you said, making sure that keeping the county accountable for these things. That's it.
Yeah. And yeah, I hope to come back too. So if we want to go on to the next two slides, that's going to show a flyer for our next community feedback session that we're going to have on April 19th at 6:30 p.m. So it's not going to be at the same exact time as the wellness hour, but it's still going to be late, so after work. So I hope that time works for a lot of our community and they're able to show up. So it's going to be led by youth in the Tuchin Health Leadership Program. So I was really excited to have this opportunity for them to lead this conversation, but it's a community conversation, intergenerational conversation for all of us to be able to provide feedback, being part of the LA Native and Indigenous community. The QR code that's right there, you can use your phone camera to scan that, and you'll be taken to our registration. So by attending or registering for our event, um, we're gonna so by registering for our event, you're gonna also be, like the Pukúu Wellness Hour, entered into the chance to win a lot of cool giveaways. So for these, you're gonna be entered in some raffles for some gift cards. And then also for today, upcoming after this, we have another raffle, so stay tuned. But also for all of you that attended and listened in on this session, and really, gave us your attention, or were just here and were interested in what we were talking about, we're going to share a link to complete a post survey in the chat for this Pukúu Wellness Hour, and we're going to enter you in a $50 gift card giveaway. So $50 to Amazon. Yeah. So we have, should I disclaim how many chances we have? Because it's not only one gift card. I won't disclaim it. Maybe we'll have multiple $50 gift cards available to give away. So again, I think it's important to give back to our community for your time, and also for being committed to make a change and giving your feedback. And I think so yeah, to just be transparent myself, so all of these surveys, all of the things that you say is important, I'm going to be taking that feedback back to RD, the Anti-Racist and Diversity and Inclusion Initiative, and letting them know, here, hey, from our community, from the Pukúu Wellness Hour, and the people who attended our event, this is what we thought of. So right there is the link. And yeah, thank you so much to our moderator backstage. I think we are ready to stop sharing. And yes, thank you
Nice.
to everyone.
I this hour goes by so fast. We were going to have a conversation and go deep and dive into each one, but that's what the community forum will be about too. So please come and share your thoughts and more information and your voices for the community forum that will be coming up. Um, and we hope to see you there. We're going to go ahead and thank everybody again for registering for today's events. It is coming to a close, and wow, what a great and depthful day that we've had. So we're going to go ahead and pull up this wheel and make sure that, like Steph said, we make sure that we give you back for your time, and We're gonna pull some names. So we have I don't even remember how many we have left.
We're gonna have 6 giveaways. I meant to split up another time for us to do giveaways, but now we're gonna do 6 in this round. Thank you all for being patient with us and being here to join us and have this conversation. Um, so yeah, I think we are ready to have our next giveaway. If you want to go ahead and spin that wheel.
Awesome. We'll go ahead and shuffle it up a little bit. And thank you. We have everybody who registered on the wheel. So here is our first winner. Yay! Oh my gosh! Happy birthday! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday, dear Theo! Happy birthday to you! This is Pukúu's birthday gift to you, Theodore Logan, who turns another year today.
Wow! Congratulations! Some birthday luck right there.
Yeah.
Happy birthday from Pukúu. Let's go on to our next spin the wheel.
Here we go.
Oh wow! Shout out to Isaac McCoy Barrow. So he's one of our youth in our youth health leadership program. Shout out to him. He's gonna win some Pukúu swag.
Yay! Boo boo boo! Awesome. That's awesome. See, even our youth are registering. So thank you for doing that.
Yes, exactly. And he'll actually be one of our youth panelists for our conversation on April 19th. So I think it's super cool to see how involved our community is.
Yeah.
So we got our next giveaway right now.
Yay! Alyssa! She's also a youth.
Oh, wow! That's so cool. Oh my God. Shout out to Alyssa, winner of a $25 Amazon gift card. So again, reminding everyone, our Pukúu Wellness Hour is intergenerational, open to all. So make sure to sign up. And even our youth can win.
Here we go with our next winner.
Yeah.
Joanna Ferguson.
Yes. Congratulations, winner of a Pukúu swag bag.
Awesome. Boo, boo, boo. Okay, here we go with our next winner.
Yes.
Kevin Hale. Boo, boo, boo.
Congratulations, winner of a $25 Amazon e-gift card. And then we'll go on to our last giveaway for some Pukúu swag.
Nice. Here we go with our last winner. Rachel Fernandez. Boo, boo, boo.
Yes, congratulations. So congratulations to all of the winners. Like we mentioned before, you expect an email from Pukúu that will be asking you more information. And also for those who win a gift card, we will be trying to get those to you by April 19th. So you won't be immediate, but we thank you so much for joining us and viewing us and for all of your patience and love and having this conversation with us. I appreciate it so much. And to all of those viewing in the future or, who shared and registered, thank you all for today.
Also, we want to remind those people that have won that we will be getting in contact with you. Or I know there was a message up there that we need your sizes so that we can send out the appropriate size. So somebody should be getting in contact we want to, somebody should be getting in contact with you or sending you an email to let you know that you won. Thank you again, Steph, for being here to share information and provide community with some great information that brings a voice to the community, and that brings back information to what the county is doing. It's important for our voices to be heard, and also to give your input and let county know our community, what our community needs are, and how we can all work together to make positive change. So again, we want to encourage you all to attend the community forum that will be going on. We do definitely want to hear from you. We also encourage you to continue to wash your hands, wear a mask, avoid crowds, and stay physically distanced but emotionally safe. Get tested if you have symptoms. The virus is still here, and I went out today, and it was such a it was still great to see people protecting themselves by wearing masks. I took my in-laws who are older. I took them to get their second booster yesterday. So that second booster is available for seniors over 50 and people with complications. So make sure that you go out and you get that booster. Protect yourself, protect others, and protect our community. Thank you, Steph, for being here. Hopefully, our youth can come on also in the future and run the show and maybe be on with you when you give that feedback.
Yes, I was just thinking that hopefully, we'll come back, the youth, and kind of give some feedback on what the process was like, what happened, and knowing that it's important, like you said, for all of our communities to continue to stay healthy and safe. And I think one of those ways is by doing this and providing feedback and using our voice to have an active role in creating more resources that keep us healthy and safe and thriving in our communities. So yeah, hope to see you all at our next event. And don't forget to complete the post survey for today's Pukúu Wellness Hour, where you're going to be entered into a post survey raffle to win a $50 Amazon gift card. So we're going to have a few drawings for that. So you have a good chance of winning a gift card. So we would really appreciate it if y'all, fill out that post survey. And I hope you all have a great night and continue to stay, safe. Like April said, wash your hands, wear your mask, protect our community like we have our logo here at Pukúu. So thank you all for having me and hope to see you all soon.
Yeah, we'll see you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. And until next time, be safe, stay well. Ta'a, thank you for being here. Good night.